Yeah. Good morning, this is Rabbi Shlomo Furst here, Yeshiva Samanavshi. We're located in Yerushalayim Kodesh, close to the central bus station, so you can walk from there, take a bus, drive, of course, and if you're coming through Florence, please, when you're flying into Eretz Yisrael, join us here for our shiur. This is our second shiur at 9:30 or 10 in the morning in Mishna Berura, and we're learning about Shemona Esrei. We're going to answer, Amram, your question now. If you want to take a look in Samech Vov, we're going to go back to Kuf Dal and also Kuf Chav Beis. We're going to jump all around today. But take a look in Samech Vov in Sif Gimel. This is going to answer your question to a person, because the Mishnah Berura, we'll see later on, he directed us to Samech Vov, which is Hilchos Kriya Shema, and many of the dinim, the halakas of interruptions in Kriya Shema correspond to the halakas of interruption in Shemona Esrei. So take a look at Sif Gimel. Any volunteers to read? Nachia, you want to start first?
I don't even know where you are. I don't know what Sif Gimel means.
That's what we're here for.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry. I remember when I got into a car to drive, I didn't know what this and that was. So, we got to learn. Samech Vav Sif Gimel.
First we put the keys in the ignition.
Yeah. Sif Gimel here. Actually, in the door, get into it. They have to figure which key is which.
Okay. L'kadesh v'likdusha ul varchu mafsik afilu be'emta.
Okay, let's stop there. The Kaddish to the Kedusha, the Berura. Let's say a person's in the middle of his Kriya Shema, right? He's in the middle of Kriya Shema, and he hears a Kaddish or Kedusha or Berura, right? So he makes an interruption right there in the middle of his Kriya Shema. Okay.
Hapasuk v'chein l'modim aval lo yomar elah tevas modim bilvad.
Okay, very good. So the pasuk, and he should make a hefsek also from modim, but he only says the one word of modim, and that's it. Okay, let's see the Mishnah Berura here in Yud Zayin. Yeah.
So if he's not of Kriya Shema and the Chaf is up to Modim,
Right.
he just says the word Modim?
Apparently, according to the Mechaber. We will have, if we want,
What
we'll
does
see
it
the
mean by
Mishnah
Emsa
Berura.
Pasuk? Even if it Emsa, what if you have Shem Hashem and you're reading Pasuk? You should say
Yeah, I
Kedusha.
mean, he says if you have to ask Hashem,
Then what happens then if he says Kedusha?
so he should
Say Kedusha?
yeah, I mean,
You
really,
go back to
in
the
truth,
beginning.
you could probably quickly finish it up and answer. I mean, I'm not so shkiyah that the actual, some psukim are a little bit longer, but even then, it's still, there's a question, if you're going to do that, it might be that if you have to say, Amen Yehei Shmi Rabbah, and so the Amen, whether that's a Amen Yisoma, if you're going to say words, if you're obligated to say something, like let's say you hear lightning or see lightning or hear thunder. So if you speak before you make the brachas, that's a hefsek, right? Let's say you have to answer Amen to something, and you speak before you say Amen, so that's considered like an Amen Yisoma. It's not going on anything because you just said words, so you're not supposed to say that. So it could be that you couldn't even finish up the pasuk quickly because you have to say Amen Yeshmi Rabbah right away. You hear that shot saying that, so you have to finish up the pasuk right away. What you could do is if you see that he's getting close to it, speed up and finish up the pasuk that you're in the middle of. Right? But it might be if you're in the middle of a pasuk, you have to stop that right there and say Amen Yeshmi Rabbah.
And then go back to the beginning of the Pasuk?
Most likely, that might be a machlokas, the Mechaber and the Ramah. Yeah. We had that earlier about Shemona Esrei. Let's take a look at the Mishnah Berura here. Yud Zayin.
L'kadish Hainu La'amein Yehei Shemei Rabbah Ad Amaya Velo Yomar Yisbarach.
Okay, so that's the what you're supposed to say. You hear Kaddish, so you say, hey, Amen Yehei Shmei Rabbah, right, until Almaya, but don't say Yisbarach. Don't say Yisbarach at the end.
Some people don't say it at all.
Yeah, some people don't say that, correct. That if you take a look, if you have number 9 there in the
Yeah.
Dorshu, number 9, you have, I'll just read it. It says about Yisbarach, Kamo shekasab le'el in nun simin nun vav so sifkat and tes vav amiris Yisbarach tagi b'minhagim. And it depends on minhagim. L'chein, therefore, im omed b'tfiloso b'makom she'asa l'hafsik goy rak yom therefore, since it's only minhagim, right, you only say what's obligated to be said, not something which is totally wrong. You'll see that by kedusha, by kedusha, and also since you're in by all the other things of kaddish, you're not going to say either, because a lot of those things are also minhagim that we say. The three or four other remains that we say during the kaddish. Okay. Oh, and Indian Amen, go continue on, Batuzino.
Okay, 1 second. I lost my
Take
spot.
your time. Take your time. In mine, if we have the same pages, it's the second white line. No, I'm not sure if you have the same line.
Thank you. V'yaneh amen achar da'amiran ba'alma aval.
Okay, so you say Amen after the Damiran B'alma, and that's it, right? You only say 2 things. Amen Yesh Rabbah Ad Almaya, and then you say the Amen after the Amiran.
You don't say brichu, right? You don't say brichu.
No.
It's not a man.
Right.
Okay, aval al tiskabel yehei shalama oseh shalom lo ya'aneh amen ki eino elah minhag v'likdusha.
Okay, so 1 second.
Okay.
So since saying Amen to those things, Tiskabel, Yesh Lama Rabba, right, Oseh Shalom, don't say Amen to those things, because those are only minhagim, right? You should know also, Rav Moshe has a tshuva, sometimes you'll be in Psukei Zimra as well, and he paskins more or less that the things you're not supposed to amen, these things you're not supposed to answer amen to in the middle of Psukei Zimra either, right? That only these 2 basic things of the Amen Yesh Rabbah and the Damiran B'alma to make say
I
amen
assume
after
that
that.
applies to Aisha also.
Yeah. If it's a Kaddish for Rabbanan, correct. And a lot of people don't know that, and a lot of people sometimes they come late and they want to say a Kaddish and it might have started already, and they'll say a Kaddish in the middle of Sukkot Zimra, and it could be actually the people don't know. They think that they can answer amen, and all these things in the middle of Sukkot Zimra. So it's really not so partial.
So here's a question. Shall I daven in individual, only one person says Kaddish at a time? Okay.
That's fact, Elizabeth.
No, here.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And so the Gabbai, and the Gabbai will get to Rishon Amar, and he'll finish that, and the person is supposed to say Kaddish, whoever is supposed to say Kaddish at that point. If that person has not finished Sukkot Zimras, say it anyhow, go back and finish, what?
Again, if the person who's supposed to say Kaddish,
It's not when he finishes Sukkot Zimra, it's when the
right.
Gabbai finishes.
So again, which Kaddish is this that he's supposed to be saying answering to? He's supposed to be saying which Kaddish?
Kaddish Rabbanan at the beginning.
At the beginning.
Yeah.
But so it's not Psukei Zimra. He's in the middle of Mishna Omer.
Yeah.
He's still in the middle of Mishna Omer. To tell you the truth, it's not so partial, because first of all, it depends where he is, and like, you can't just say a Kaddish out of the blue. I mean, if the Gabbai is saying it, right, and he's saying the whole thing, then the other person could probably say the Kaddish. Yeah.
What's
And
Pashut
then
mean?
Not clear.
Simple. It's not clear. It's not simple. It's
Pashut,
not, yeah, it's not,
T,
yeah.
Yeah.
Pashut.
Pay.
Pashut means straight.
Pashut, okay, thank you.
Right.
Well, what's the question? I don't.
Say your question again.
Okay. The way the shul works is that the Gabbai will say Rabbi Yishmael, at the end of, will say Rabbi Yishmael Mer, and who's ever turned to say Kaddish that day will say Kaddish to Rabbanim.
And where's he holding?
That's the question. If you have not finished everything at that point.
But at that point, there's no problem with talking to him, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Right.
Right, but you're saying Kaddish, but you didn't say Rabbi Yishmael yet.
So, but you said other stuff in that, I'm assuming. I mean, you're saying it for the congregation. You're not saying it for yourself. It's nice. It's a different situation. This situation.
Well, see,
The guy by saying Rabbi Shmuel that he can say Kaddish.
And then what does the person say Kaddish? If he has not gotten to that, does he finish it? Does he skip it?
Oh, the skipping of it. That's up to the person. Like everything else in tefillah, we skip and sometimes we say we're going to go back and we never go back. We're guilty of that. The shul is holding. The Rabbi Shmuel.
See that you're not really saying the Kaddish of Rabbi Shmuel because that's not a Gadita. That's really the halakha. You can only say Kaddish on a Gadita. So you say the Hirot Son that you're saying she been basically Rabbeinu was saying the Dinu was second. You're saying Kaddish basically on that, right? But so therefore, when that's being said, so if he's there at the time when it's being said, so it's much easier. If he comes out, it wasn't there at the time when it's being said, so it's a little bit more difficult. But, the person just comes.
But he's saying it for the countries, but he's saying it for the community. He's not saying it for himself alone. He's saying it as a Kaddish for the community.
Right. But
So,
It's like you didn't like mine. If you didn't have that mine, if you came in late, but you exactly before Baruch, so you can send the kashut of them.
yeah. So if there was people that were learning, right? If there are people who are learning, and see the whole point is that the people are saying it's supposed to be saying the Yishmael, and it's supposed to be some type of learning that's done around it. Then you say at the end Yiratzon. So the Yiratzon on that you say the Kaddish to Rabbanim. Right? So I think I have to check. I think in some places they only say one Kaddish. They don't say two.
Smart. They should say that.
Yeah.
Kaddish one.
Every shul does it different. Every shul does it different.
There's reasons for it.
Yeah, if you say because of the hoda that you say after before,
Oh, okay.
that's because of David Melech. Because in Yishtabach he said that it's all David Melech, but not everything in there is David Melech stuff.
Right.
So they say the hodu first, and then they say Kaddish. But then you have a problem because Hashem Shemoshe and David Melech in French. So in either side, you're not really answering, and nobody answers those questions. So we just keep following customs.
They do what they say.
But he's not in a place where he can say Kaddish. I mean, he's not in a
Right. He certainly can't.
He's finishing B'yachas HaShachar, and he hears Ukusheli Kamanil. He's in love. He'll go. He's obviously Hashem.
Right. But what's he saying it on? What's he saying the Kaddish on?
The Gabbais. The Gabbais.
The Gabbai is saying it, but sometimes there's no one really saying it. They just, someone just.
Well, you just said you answered the question very much, right? You said if they say Yehiratson, you have a reason to say Kaddish.
Yeah, that's
so if you save the person all the korbanos to come to Yehiratson,
Okay. Yeah. Where are we holding here?
Tusha.
Right. So be careful with the minute saying the Kaddish in the middle of speaking Zimmer because it may not be so acceptable. Okay.
Thank you.
The person who's saying it's in the middle of the Zimmer, the sequel's in the middle. Who's in the middle of the Zimmer?
What if a person wants to say Kaddish? Yeah, he wants to say Kaddish. Maybe he has a yard site. He came late. Donnie's Pesukah was supposed to start at 7:30. He came at 7:35. The meeting is 5 minutes into Pesukah Zimmer.
If they didn't get the Buch Shamar, so you could still say it.
Well, if he's going to say it, so what I mentioned, he may be macho people who's saying remains in a Shlomo Tzor. They have to be careful what they say. You can't just interrupt in Pesukah Zimmer. Just like you can't interrupt here in
No davening in the shtibel, that's what you learn. No davening in the shtibel, that's what you learn. Because in Sephardic synagogue it's not going to happen, and in big synagogue it's not going to happen because the rabbi will kick him out. So you've seen that happen, right? So.
No, I remember someone told me we had a psak from around. If he comes late, you can still say he stays okay.
Okay, so that's in there.
You know, so
That's his synagogue.
People can answer him?
not exactly. Ramosh has a truth on it. The same halakha applies like Judaism as Shema. What can you answer? If you hear Kaddish in the middle of Shema, what can you answer?
Just like
Only two things, right? Amen Yeshmi Rabbah, and the Amen after the Damerim B'Amal.
then we're
That's
going to go
it.
to more.
And all the other things not.
We're going to more.
Oh, hold on.
We're not finished.
That's Kedusha, that's the end.
No, that's Kedusha.
Oh, the Kiddush, yeah, but I'm saying.
Yeah, but he said.
Oh, for Amen, yeah, he said.
Yeah, but all the others which are totally unminhag,
But we
right?
don't answer.
You shouldn't answer.
What exactly is this person doing?
What? Good question. He's coming late. That's what he's doing. He has to come early. Can't come late.
Never mind that.
So what are you
What
doing?
is Kaddish? What does he do?
And what did she say in Kaddish on? What did he say in Kaddish on? Everyone's in Pesukah Zimmer, and he parachutes into the minion. He says a Kaddish. What's he saying Kaddish on? What's this Kaddish going on?
And the Korbanot that he said.
That he said.
He said.
I don't know if Yoki could say Kaddish.
I learned that from an old tradition yid. I used to go to a shtibel, they used to have daf yomi, I used to have carpool. I used to come just when they finished the daf yomi.
Right.
So once I was just going to Skemi, he says, I was Kaddish, his wife, he says, so daf yomi time. He says, you didn't learn, you don't say Kaddish. So I learned, if you're not there, you shouldn't say the Kaddish. That's what I learned.
That's I'm not. I don't want to take too full. We
Yeah.
can go back and take a look what it says about by Kaddish. There's a whole simon about saying Kaddish. Nun and hey, I think. But let's finish up this. This because this is what we're getting to your question
Right,
from
thank you,
yesterday.
Thank you.
Okay.
Velik Dusha, Yomar, Rak, Kadosh, Uvaruch, Shezehu, Ikar, Kedusha, Velo, Yimloch.
Oh, you see, lo yimloch. You do not say yimloch. That was our question from yesterday, right? We saw Mishna didn't. We mentioned it because he said he really referenced us. We'll see in Kufkov Base. We'll get that again. He referenced us here to Salmon Dog. But here in Salmon Dog, he lays it out clearly, right? Yimloch, you do not say. Right? So you only say the first two parts of the kedusha, not yimloch. So that's if a person's in Elokai Netzor. So the same halacha would apply. That his Kaddish was very common. Many times shots will start when the person's at the end of his bakashas, takanuni of Elokai Netzor, and so it just says the first two parts of the kedusha, not the yimloch. Okay.
V'chol shekain shelo Yomar Nekadesh Ushar Dvarim Shamosifin Bashabas V'chol Zeh Afilu Bain Haparakim Lo Yomar.
So even if a person's in between the paragraphs of Shema, right? You should have said all the other. Don't make any mention of all the other osafas that they had on Shabbos and Yom Tov. Okay, so that's just. I just wanted to start with that today to answer your question.
Thank you.
About.
So this is basically after Osir was made and the first Tehillah Ratzon interview.
That's it.
Because the second one we know that we can do it.
Oh, after you say the second one, then during every.
This is just the basics for the first. Okay, thank you.
We're good. Yeah.
Thank you.
No, good, okay, sure. Okay, let's go back to Kuf Daled. We'll review again that, and then as the Mishnah suggested, we have to jump back to where we were yesterday, to Kuf of base. Again, Kuf Dalet at the very end there.
What does simon mean? Semen. When you say simon,
That's
kuf
chapter.
daled, what is simon?
Chapter.
Chapter?
Yes, you have your Mishna Berura, see the very top line, it says Hilchus Tefillah,
Right.
Simin Kuf Dalet.
Right.
Right, so that's the chapter.
Okay.
Right? You have Hilchus, the laws of prayer. And
Right.
chapter Kuf Dalet, chapter 108.
Four.
Or the last one.
The last kuf daled?
The last chet.
There's a Kuf Dalet,
Kuf daled, kuf het, kuf
What is
vav.
this?
Hey, Kuf Hey.
Kuf
Some-
Dalet,
Kuf
Chet.
Dalet, subchapter.
Don't look
Yeah,
at the other
subchapter.
chapters. So there's two other chapters on the same page.
Oh,
Ah,
You see, you want to always keep the first one because that's where you are.
okay.
You want to go to the this one.
Okay.
These are the two other two other chapters that are on the same page.
Okay.
But you always
What is this? This section? This is the
The
actual.
paragraph. Yeah, those are the paragraphs.
Okay.
Chapter paragraph.
Is that the Mishna Berura, or that's what you
No,
call the
Mishna
Machaber?
Berura is
That's the
Mechaber.
Mechaber. Up on top
Mishna
the
Berura is
Mechaber.
here.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay.
And what does sifkat mean?
Sifkat,
Small chapter.
Yeah, small.
That's at the bottom.
Well,
That's at the
subchapter.
number
That's like
subchapter.
subchapter.
Subchapter here.
Okay, so we're simon kuf daled,
That's
Right.
that's here.
and we're sifkat
Siv chet.
chet,
and
and you would
Siv
come down here for
Where
here.
it'll tell you the notes in here, right? So we have here lamed. So Siv
Right.
chet and lamed. So you have to find lamed over here.
Lamed. Got it. So done. Sifkat, small chapter, small section,
Subchapter.
subchapter. Thank you.
yeah, it's a cotton. Cotton for small.
Is it I or E? Is it sif? Katan.
With the E. It's actually,
Sif. Okay.
some write it C-I-F or C-E-I-F.
Okay. And katan means small.
Oh,
Yeah.
exactly.
Chips gadol. That's why I know not to say katan. Okay.
Why don't you use Perek? Why do you use Perek?
You also chips.
Also Paris.
Chips gadol.
Yeah.
Oh baby, that's my
Shiban
sin.
said.
Excuse me?
Shiban is a chapter.
Simon is a chapter. Yeah.
And Perek, same thing.
And yeah, more or less. Perik, and if you want to talk a little Yiddish, kapitel. I think it's Yiddish.
No,
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. So we're at achar.
The Mechaber, right?
Yeah.
Go
Okay.
to the Mechaber Sibchet.
Achar shasiyem shemoneh esrei barachos kodem.
We say the Elokai, because that's the same as Shem, right? The Hey, see the Hey at the end before the Yud? Right? If you say that with the Hey, that's you're saying the Shem of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So
Okay.
you say that with the Kuf instead of the Hey. Many times when you come to a place where the Shem of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is written, the name of Hashem is written, you replace the Hey with the Kuf. You say Elokai.
And if I said with the name while I'm reading this, what does that mean?
You're
It's not so
Ashkenazi.
simple,
You're an
actually.
Ashkenazi.
That's what it means.
That's what you say. So don't say. That's what.
So
it
I'm
means.
in my book, in
That's
my
it.
box
You're
there.
an Ashkenazi. You don't say.
That's why
Okay.
you do
Oh,
it.
yeah.
A lot of.
Oh, you say the whole sentence. You say the whole sentence. It's actually the same.
Yeah, if it's a pasuk, then that's okay. You see, there's a big question in Limud Gemara when you have psukim that are in the Gemara only mentions like 2 or 3 words of the pasuk,
Right.
and it's mentioned Hashem, whether or not you should pronounce the Shem. It's a whole thing, whether you know or not. That's the question. Some people are marked about Zemiros on Shabbos, and when you repeat the psukim back and forth again.
Tori Banalam, okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Elokai Netzur.
Okay. Yachol la'anos kedusha v'kadish uvarchu uvarchui.
Right, Uvarchu. So after you
That's
finish
already
your,
given at the end.
your 18, actually 19
That's
brothers,
Parentheses.
right?
Okay.
So then before you say the word Elokai Netzur, those percussions, that's the beginning of the paragraph, beginning with the words Elokai Netzur. You even before you said that, according to the Mechaber, you're able to answer Kedusha and Kaddish and Baruch. Let's say the Mishna Berura, Sivkat and Lamed.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So let me just ask you this. So
Sure.
up top you said hey, and down chet. Down low you're saying lamed.
Right,
Right.
because
Because you're telling me the small chapter, you're telling me to go
Right,
down
Because
below.
it's giving you a note over here, the lamed here. It's a note that he wrote something commentary to what he just said here.
Okay.
This is the commentary to here. These are your notes, how you know where to go.
So why are you putting the chet here?
Because that's
no,
also the chapter,
you
the
should know in the
paragraph.
original edition
This is
they
the
didn't have that.
paragraph.
The original Mishnah they did not have that,
Okay.
right? The original Mishnah Brewers didn't have the sifs written in the Mishnah Brewer.
So up top they're telling me down below, and down below they're telling me up top.
That's right.
Just to make sure I know where I am.
That's right, that's just
Okay.
to find your place.
Okay.
Sometimes a sif will have many,
Sub-chapters.
well, like, Ches only has, may only have a couple of notes on the bottom, not just ones. You have to know where it's coming from. It's part of the-
Okay.
What's your next paragraph? It has a lot of notes. 1, 2, 3, 4 notes.
Got
It depends which paragraph.
This is service. You guys are great.
Go for it.
Okay. Achar shesiyesh v'chu.
She is saying.
Shesayim v'chu. Hainu she'amar gam yiyu l'ratzon. Kodem Elohai notzar.
Those kind notes.
Say Elokai notzar. De'im lo kain asur. Lahafsik. Kamo shekasuv b'siman kuf chaf base. Okay. V'lazeh ramaz harama b'ma shekasav. Va'ayin lakaman siman kuf chaf bet. Vav.
Okay, let's see. So again, very good. So again, the Mechaber said, when you finish your Shmones brachas, before you say the words Elokai Nitzur, you're able to answer Kaddish and Kedusha and Baruch. Mishna says on that, Hainu she'amr gam yidrotzon. You said that's a pasuk which you say. You know, if you look in your siddur, you have that, and that's said, right? Mishna was adding, you said that, and before you said the Elokai Nitzur, and then you're able to answer, right? The Lokain, if you did not say that word, those pasuk, that verse of Yidrotzon, then it's going to be forbidden to make a break and answer to anything before you say Elokai Nitzur. Okay? And that's what we're going to see soon in Siman Kuf Chav Beis. If we have number 46 over here on the Dirshu, you want to read that there?
If not so,
If you did not say the
Yidrotzon,
you didn't say that verse, Yidrotzon,
then you're not allowed to talk.
also you cannot interrupt. You're still like you're in the middle of your Shmon Esrei, right?
Yeah.
Nothing's changed. You're still right in the middle of your Shmon Esrei. And you're not supposed to answer anything in the middle of your Shmon Esrei. At best, you can just listen, as we learned you did last week. You can listen to be Yotzi Shmei Kona, but you cannot speak out in the middle of your Shmon Esrei. Okay?
וכל זה לדעת השולחן ערוך, לקמן שם סמך עליו. This is all according to the Shulchan Aruch. על לדעת הרמה, but according to the Rama, שם, יכול לעשות אפילו קודם שם יהיו לרצון. That he can stop even if he didn't say you leratzon before Elokai Nitzur.
Okay. So you see, there's a Michael.
There's yeah.
What's explained to us now is the Das of the Shulchan Aruch, right? Now, however, we'll see soon in Kuf Chav Beis, the Ramah, right? Even before you say the Yidrotzon, you're able to, according to the Ramah, you're able to speak out. Okay?
ולכן כתב משנה ברשם, סמך קוף בייס, ספקת בייס, שכשאין לו שהוא יענה דברים שבקדושה, אף קודם שאמר יהיו לו רצון. That he can answer things of Kedusha even before you rachon. So basically, just for me to understand, as far as I have to say you rachon, then I can answer the three things that we said.
Good.
As an Ashkenazi, he also answers only those three things, or he can answer anything at that point.
Not clear.
Because it's Baruch Kedusha as opposed to everything. So Baruch Kedusha would understand that it would be just
if I'm not mistaken, the Mishnah is going to say that he's going to reference refers back to Samid Vav, we were just learning.
Right.
And it's going to be the same halacha as Kriyishma, in which case it's only going to be
Those
those
three things. Okay, fine.
Exactly.
What are the three again?
Okay, Kaddish, Kedusha, and Baruch Hu. But Kaddish, right? Kaddish, you only are permitted to answer the Yeheshmei Rabbah, right, until Alma, and then the Amen after the Amrin on Alma. And then
not breaking, not breaking.
No,
not true.
Not breaking.
Those are minhagim. Everything we learned is all
Anything which minhag you don't answer. Okay, and then the Kaddish and Kedusha, you say Kadosh, 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 and then Gur Kavod, but not Yimlo. Right, okay, that's what I meant. And Baruch Hu is a Baruch Hu, which is the same Baruch Hu. Now, let's go to Kuf Chav Beis.
Good base. Base. No, Rabbi, no. Wait, 20 pages, 20 chapters. Oh,
Yaakov, you have it?
there it is. You got it. One chapter.
Kuf
There.
Aleph, Kuf Chaf Beis. Okay.
Rachel, you like Kuf Chav Beis? Kuf, exactly. Kuf Chav Beis.
Sif Aleph?
Sif Aleph, right. So this is Dinim Kuf Chav Beis,
Okay.
is the Dinim Shaychim Bein Shmon Esrei L'Ratzon. Those things which have a relevance between the Shmona Esrei, that's the basic body of the 18, 19 brachas, which you say, and that verse of Yil Ratzon. Things that come up in between, that interface between Shmona Esrei and Yil Ratzon. Okay, go ahead, Rachmi, please.
Okay, in Baal Sik, coming to make a break, not to answer, Kaddish, the Kedusha, Ben Shmon Esrei, the Ratzon, and opposite, he's not allowed to make a break.
So that says we were learning, so according to the Mechaber we saw earlier, until you say Yil Ratzon, you're still like you're in the middle of your Shmona Esrei, and obviously you can't make any break. That's according to the Mechaber. Okay?
So the Mikhail, Shehu Ratzon, this Pesuk is Mikhail Tefillah, is considered part of the Tefillah.
Right.
Who? Aval Bein Yehud Ratzon Shah Tachunim Shabadami. That's okay.
Right. Once you said that Yil Ratzon, it's as if you've finished your Shmona Esrei. Right
First
now,
one.
this is the first one, right? First one. You haven't mentioned, don't mention the two right now. Only one and only one is correct. Okay, Haggadah. That's the Mechaber.
You say
Yeah.
it's as though you finished, but it's not completely, because
No.
you can only say the three. You
Uh,
only answer the three.
Okay, well, we're gonna see exactly what you're able to see. Hold on. Right. No, it's true because you haven't really finished. You're still kilu. You're oimid l'fnei melech. I mean, until you take it 2 steps back, you still have to have some type of decorum and hanhaga that you're oimid l'fnei melech. So you can't just decorum. Be accustomed to do such things. Hanhaga from the same word as minhag. Minhag is a custom. Hanhaga is a verb. Hanhaga is a way you were accustomed to do things. Yeah. Let's see the remark.
Okay, the Dafka is specifically the Makom in the place Nogin Lamot Ratzon Miyad Achat Tefillah. Habal, after you finish right after the end of the bracha, this bracha, he says Yivotzon.
Right. So the Ramah is saying he's attaching the explanation onto the Mechaber that you can't say anything until you say the Yiratzon. That's in a place their custom is that they say the Yiratzon immediately after Tefillah, meaning they finish their 19 brachas and straight into Yiratzon. That's it. Okay, that's just like you say Hashem Siftach, right at the beginning of your Shmona Esrei. You say Yiratzon at the very end of your Shmona Esrei, and without addition of any personal requests.
Aval b'makom shenogin lamar techumunim, the places where they're accustomed to say the supplications, call them before Yivotzon, before the Pesuk Yivotzon, Mafsik Gamkin. You're allowed to make a break also for what? For Kaddish, Kedusha, Mukamot, Elu. In these places, they're custom Ogim. Mafsik Belu Kainus Kodem, Yilutzon, V'chen Mafsikin Gamkin, the Kedusha. The Kedusha, the Kaddish, the Baruch Hu.
So the Ramah mentions two things. In a place where the custom is that they say certain supplications before the saying of the verse, Yidrotzon. So then in that case, since you're normally going to say things before the verse of Yidrotzon, you can answer Kaddish and Kedusha. And Mimakomos Eilu, in the regions of the Ramah where they were accustomed to make a break and say Elokai Nitzur, so therefore that is also like the first thing the Ramah mentioned. So therefore you can also make a break and say Kaddish and Kedusha, right, even before you say the Yidrotzon. And again, we're all apparently there's only one mention of only one verse saying one time Yidrotzon. The two we're going to get into that later on. That's not the question right now.
Since these Tachanunim, is that in Elokai Netzor? Is it talking about the...
Apparently what the Mechaber and the Ramah were talking about originally were any kind of Tachanunim. Right? Any type of personal requests and supplications. There's a formatted supplication known as Elokai Nitzur, which is also taken from the Gemara in the Brachas Yud Zayin. There are many Tanoim and Amorim that the Gemara mentioned the supplications that they would add at the end of their Shmon Esrei. And we add some were actually, some Siddurim actually have them all printed. If you want to add, they're all very valuable and important, significant things to pray for. So there might have been personal things you want to say, there might have been some more formatted, standardized things you wanted to say. But the question was, you have two basic minhagim. You have one custom that they say nothing before saying Yidrotzon, that's basically the Mechaber. Then you have those customs which they say things before the Yidrotzon. Notably, we say on Erev Yom Kippur, we say the Vidui, the Al-Chet the Vidui, we say that before the Yidrotzon. That's notably accepted on Erev Yom Kippur.
But according to the Ramah,
Yeah.
he considers Elokai Netzor Tachnunim.
Yeah. That's
So,
right.
but it doesn't have the same din as Tachnun.
No. Tachnun is a whole separate type of a institution. That's a different thing. Yeah, that's
Okay.
And why
formalized.
they usually say them before the Shema Koreinu, what's this?
Some of it's,
You say this is sort of at the end.
yeah, right, you can, that's that, you can say that, but we have all these here. That's one thing, that's for us. According to the Vilna Gaon, by the way, it's also to mention any person who requests the Shmon Esrei. Everything is left for kindness.
What's Usher?
Forbidden.
Forbidden. I should know that one.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time over there.
Make additional requests during Shemona Esrei.
Everything.
So you can't put it in there?
Everything. Save
That's a
everything.
gra, that's a gra.
Yeah. Show us Eliyahu in Brachos.
They hold that way in tells.
Yeah, they do. Really.
Yeah.
Well, the reason is because people say a lot of these things. You don't have to chazar shots. You don't.
To the next page.
Oh, yeah, don't do much.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll have to stop, and we're gonna we'll continue this tomorrow.